Hey, how you going? So, thought I'd share this because it might be useful for a lot of people. So, when we buy some curtains or just things we hang off the wall, it comes with these little plugs. Unfortunately, they're not always the best. They can fall out, come loose. They're a pain in the backside. So, generally, I'll use these, which are called hollow wall anchors. So, what they do is when you compress them in the wall, they compress like that. So, the plaster sheet will actually be squished in between the head here and down here. So strongly recommend to use like these guys, hollow wall anchors, as opposed to using like wall plugs. And yeah, if you don't have the correct tool, this is the correct tool to put wall anchors in. I'll show you two ways of doing it. So I'll do one with the hollow wall anchor and I'll do one just with a normal screwdriver, and hopefully share a couple of little tips and tricks that can help everyone. Alright, so basically what we want to achieve is putting a roller blind up there. So I've actually already put one bracket up. That was before I thought about sharing this. So on the other side here, we've measured across from that bracket. Come here, I've got a little dot marked on the wall there. So I'm going to just use a bracket to mark the other dots. So basically, yeah, so I've got the bracket lined up on my dot, and then I can make two clearer dots from there. So I'm not able to do it at the moment because I can't damage this plaster, but a lot of times with wall anchors and whatnot, people get a screwdriver, line it up to it, and bash it through. When you do that, it'll actually break out the other side of the plaster. So instead of the anchor having something hard to hold on to, like 10mm plasterboard, it's like a big ditch. So it just crushes the plaster. So you can either do what I'm doing here with a screwdriver and gently... sorry about that. But yeah, so basically gently work your screwdriver just with light pressure on it, and then once you get through, just give it a gentle wiggle and then go to your other hole. Now another way you can do this too is you can use, this is how hard hold the camera with one hand, but anyway. You could also, depending on what anchor size you're using, but you can use an 8mm drill bit, and that will give you a really nice clean hole as well. Now what you're trying to achieve is, see how it's a clean hole? It's not all smashed out at the back. So when we do the wall anchor, it's got something to bite into instead of it just being all smashed out plaster and having like 2-3mm to grab onto. So there's our two little holes. I'll just go grab an anchor. Alright, so I'm going to do the first one with the screwdriver. So that'd be your anchor. So screw your little head out a little bit. I normally just bring it just so it's a bee stick poking out of there. Push your little bits of plaster in. I just find it gives it, push a little bits of plaster in around the hole. I just find it gives the anchor a little bit more grip. And then generally what I'll do if I'm doing it with the screwdriver, just give that a gentle little wiggle, hold it with my other hand, and then like that. So, and I'll try now, I'll do this video. See if this works. Probably not. Might, I don't think so. No, hang on. Alright, so imagine my little fingers are holding this here to make it going gently, but I've got the hard part done. And then all you do is just gently tap it in. I would recommend doing it slow and gentle because just so you don't damage your plasterboard. And when it's in, you can see they've got little spikes just on the edge here. Just you want to tap, give it a good tap at the end bit there, just so they bite into the plaster, just so it doesn't spin on you. That like that is all right. Then what we do is do it up by hand, and then it will go tight. And when it gets to here, you just keep on turning, keep on turning, keep on turning. Sorry, it's in real time because I'm using one hand for the camera, one hand for the screwdriver. So fast forward for 30 seconds. All right, that'll start going hard. And then as it starts to grip in, you'll feel it then just do 2 or 3 more little turns. And what I'd like to do is to check how hard it's anchored into the plaster. I don't know if you can see it. If it's got a slight wiggle, that's all right. Because when we put the bracket on, we'll do it up a lot tighter. And then, all right, sorry, this is too tricky. Hang on. Little tech secret, sorry, not meant to share it, but hey. I'm going to pause it, it's going to kill me hands. Alright, so now you can see it's anchored in pretty good. You take that screw all the way out. Then that's one mount ready for our bracket. Now the top one I'll use the gun for, and I'll show you how to do it with a gun. Alright, so with the hollow wall anchor, like I've shown you before, basically this will compress up which pushes these prongs out, and then that'll hold the plaster here, and the prongs will squeeze against there. So when you're getting one ready and you're going to do it with a gun, unscrew the head out a bit and leave this V stick out the front here, and then when you load it in the gun, make sure your little black washer, if it's got it, is up near the head. It just, I know, I find it helps them work a bit better. So this is the gun we use. So all it does, there's a plate inside here. There. And yeah, you can see it moves back on each trigger, which what that does is that'll pull that head back and then, you know, fan that out to grip in the wall. So with these guns, anytime you go to use one, always hit that trigger first before you load it, because that'll reset the plate up here. So bang, so it's back up the front now. Then you move your little washer back, like I was saying, load it into the head. If it's really loose and sloppy like that, it might not be the easiest to use, so you can tighten that up a little bit if you like. And then, yeah, that's ready to go. If that was a bit tighter, then just gives you more control when you're pushing into the wall. Or once you do a couple and you get more confident, you can do a little bit of a cheat and just do a gentle squeeze. See how it holds it a bit tighter. Don't recommend that one, because if you squeeze too hard, you'll fan it out. Anyway, so that's ready to go up on the wall. Alright, so there's our pretty little hole. So you line that up. Alright, trying to do this with one body hand, so it's really difficult. Anyway, you get the gist of it, yeah? Alright, so you line that up like that, and then use the gun. No, I need two hands. Alright, hang on. So that's lined up with the gun there. And then, so what I was doing was I was hitting it pretty, like, not hard, but like firmly across the bum of the tool, just so, you know, obviously it pushes the drive all the way into that. I can't do it with two hands or in one hand pushing it in. You've got to tap it, so give us 2 seconds. Alright, so that is in the wall now, and then all you do, you can see the mechanism up here. When we pull that, see how it's pulling the screw head out there? You do several of them until you feel the gun goes tight, and then all you do is you hit your release button to get the tool off, and there we go. So it's the same as how I've done it with the screwdriver. All you do is take that out. Now that's ready. The other thing is with the tool too, sometimes, yeah, it does mark, which is a bit of a pain. The bracket will cover it, but that's where a screwdriver can be handy too if it's on freshly painted or delicate areas. And then we've got our bracket. So I'm not at home, otherwise I would have used a tripod. Would have been easier. So you put one screw in, obviously. Then make sure your bracket is straight or whatever, and it's going to line up to the holes. But so once you get to this stage here, when you're doing up one of the screws, doesn't matter if there's 2, 4, 6, 20, but basically never do the screw up super duper tight. So just do it up sort of finger tight or even less. I'll do this one quickly. So brackets on a crazy angle, that's all good. So what we want is, so even if you go where it just grips and then come back one turn, because you want to have that little bit of play like that, which will give you really, really easy adjustment. And then, yeah, so anyway, I'll do up this bottom one the same. And then once they're all, because the top one is a tad loose, but the bottom one will do it basically the same sort of tightness, but probably just a bee's dick more turn, just so the whole bracket's not flopping around. And then that will give you your more, sort of accurate adjustment. So then we can go put a level on here or square it up or whatever, and yeah, gives 2 seconds. Then when the bracket is up like that and it's nice and tight, do these screws up fairly tight, because then that'll be squashing the prongs on the back of the plaster, and it's also gripping that bracket in, and then you have a nice solid mount to the wall. Alright, now let's pop the blind up. Alrighty. Then just as per the manufacturer's instructions, mount the blind into your 2 brackets. And then, if you've got 2 windows, repeat on the other side. And here's one I prepared earlier. So if you do use wall mates, you can actually be pretty rough with these. So if you've got kids being, bit rough with their blinds or whatever, if you got heavy blinds, like you can see the bracket's not moving at all and being quite rough with the chain. But I can't remember the exact ratings, but they're rated at like 40 kilos or something. So yeah. Have a good afternoon. I hope that was helpful. So yeah, please, instead of using wall plugs or wall mates or whatever, go for a hollow wall anchor. So much stronger. Yeah, there's a good example of how it compresses on the wall. So imagine your plasterboard will be here where my fingernail is. Alright, and you can also get larger ones. I don't like the larger ones, they're a pain, but if you need to hang something really heavy, TV brackets and whatnot, they're really good. Alright, have a good afternoon everyone, and enjoy. Take care. Love and light.